Hey guys, this is the Sports Kid, and today we've got a special episode. In this special episode, I'm joined by Stacie, the founder of Bubbles, the Blind Beagle and Friends, a Michigan nonprofit dedicated to rescue, disability advocacy, and bullying prevention. Bubbles isn't your ordinary beagle. He's blind, but that hasn't stopped him from becoming a sports-loving Jeep dog, a school visitor, and an ambassador for kindness. Together, Stacie and Bubbles have turned adversity into a movement, inspiring athletes, students, and fans across the country. Today we talk about how Bubbles' story inspired a bullying prevention program, the impact of visiting schools and kids' powerful reactions, their love for Detroit sports and the athletes who've joined the cause, the laughter, challenges, and heartwarming moments of the rescue life. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Sports Kid podcast, where we bring you the latest on Detroit sports and more. Today we've got a very special episode with a very special guest, Stacie, the founder of Bubbles, the Blind Beagle and Friends, a part Michigan-based nonprofit that's part Beagle Rescue, part Disabled Pets Ambassador, and part bullying prevention movement. Her star teammate, Bubbles, a blind beagle who's become a Jeep dog, a sports fan favorite, and most importantly, an advocate for kindness. Together, Stacie and Bubbles visit schools, sporting events, and community spaces to spread a message of inclusion, resilience, and love. We're going to talk about rescue life, what it's really like to raise a blind beagle, how one dog sparked a movement against bullying, and of course, we'll mix in some laughter and fun along the way. So let's jump in. Stacie, welcome to the show.
Hi, Emery.
Hi.
We're trying to get Bubbles up here for you. Come here, buddy. Go ahead. This might take a minute.
Okay. So thanks so much for joining me. It's an honor to be joined by you and Bubbles.
And Nugget.
Yes, and Nugget. So I've got some questions here for our audience so you can get to know more about, so that they can get to know more about you. Are you ready?
Are these the ones that were posted online?
Yes. So these are all comments from your fan
Facebook
page.
post.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So who rescued who? Did you rescue Bubbles or did he rescue you, or maybe both?
Actually, I don't consider Bubbles to be a rescue. So he was actually a hunting dog who was blind, so he couldn't keep up with the pack. I still talk to his previous owner. As a matter of fact, he just got a dog from me not that long ago. So if anything, I would have to say that Bubbles rescued me because he brought a lot of the things that we do to light, that something needed to be done. And I know we're going to probably talk about that a little bit, how this whole thing started. Bubbles is definitely a one-of-a-kind dog. Everybody loves him. He just brings happiness wherever he goes. So I'd have to say Bubbles rescued me.
Yeah, it's funny how sometimes you think that you're rescuing the dog, but the dog actually rescues you.
Yes. And generally you do find it's the other way around.
Yeah. What got you into the idea of building a rescue, and who inspired you to take that leap?
Absolutely nobody. And I wish that somebody would have talked me out of it. So our rescue started because 4 years ago, there were 4 beagles that were dumped out in Montrose, which is out here in Genesee County in the western part. And somebody posted them on a community page. They were looking for somebody to take them. It was a weekend. Animal control was closed. So I loaded up cages, what I could, and I went ahead and I picked up these 3 dogs. We found out that there was a 4th one that did find its way to animal control. Somebody had picked it up. I called animal control and said, hey, can I have the 4th one? Like I have the other 3. Can I reunite them? And they asked me if I was a 501c3, which at that point I was. So the obvious question was, yes, I am. And they just gave me the dog. And I was like, wait a minute, you just give me dogs because I have a 501c3? And that is what started our rescue. So we built our kennel, which they're called the Kennel Kids. We built our kennel after we had a house fire because we had no place to keep the dogs. So that's what inspired the kennel. where we got everything inspected. We got licensed by the state. Everything's good to go. And now we take as many dogs in as we possibly can.
It's funny how, like, you think that, like, they're separated and then they end up getting reunited. Like,
they were not happy. They were very upset when that fourth one came back. I don't think they were friends.
Oh. What's your background before rescue? Did you have experience in education or something else? Or did this all start with Bubbles?
This all started with Bubbles. Yep, this all started with Bubbles. And the first school that I went to for bullying prevention, when I started the bullying prevention program, I know you guys are out in Lapeer County. It was the Lapeer County school, and we bombed it. We did terrible. I forgot everything that I wanted to say, everything that I wanted to do, everything that I wanted to cover when we were there, and it was an absolute disaster. So the first year we threw it all together. We made mistakes. We learned from them. Second year, same thing. We made mistakes. We learned from them. We're now on our fourth year. We're expanding. We're growing. And we're making sure that we're having fun with the kids and interacting with them and keeping them engaged. For example, I went to a school this morning, 4th and 5th graders, and the first thing I said to them was 6, 7. And they stayed engaged with me the entire time. And if I felt that I was losing them, when I introduced Bubbles, I introduced that he had drip. But, you just use those slang terms and they stay engaged. So we've learned a lot.
Bubbles definitely indeed does have drip. I will say so.
He does have drip. He has a lot of drip.
Yeah, he's got a lot of drip for a dog.
He does. He's got a whole wardrobe upstairs. It's embarrassing.
What inspired you to tie Bubbles' story to bullying prevention?
Actually, Nugget. Nugget was like the background of this whole thing, because when we brought Bubbles home, he still had his eyes, but obviously he was blind. She knew right away something was different about him. So she started to lead him around the house, taught him how to be a dog, taught him how to jump up on furniture, how to do dog things. When people started bullying Bubbles online more and more, the more I could think of is, why can't everybody just be kind like Nugget was that day? Like, why do we have to act like this? And that is what inspired the whole story. And we actually sometimes use a hashtag Love Like Nugget when we post on social media, but they've kind of taken that a little bit far because Nugget is out of control. So we don't love like Nugget no more. We don't act like Nugget no more. We're just nice like Nugget.
What's the most Beagle thing Bubbles or one of your other pups has ever done?
Oh, this is a good one. So this was right after we brought Bubbles home. Nugget was a puppy. Nugget was about 6 months old. My boyfriend and I, it was during COVID. It was after COVID. It was 2021. We went somewhere. We came home. We were gone a lot later than we were supposed to be. We came home. All of our couch cushions were on the floor. One of our couch cushions was completely ripped in the top, and there was one of our dogs that was stuck in them. So she peeked her head out, like, can you please help me get out from this cushion? Because I've been stuck in here for about 4 hours. So that was definitely an interesting one. They've destroyed a lot of furniture. They're beagles. It's what they do.
So she was just in the couch cushion?
She was stuck. Yeah, she was absolutely stuck.
So
and I think Bubbles and Nugget dug the hole for her and opened it up. And I think that she burrowed in there because beagles do like to burrow. And I think she just couldn't find her way back out. So yeah, we had a dog stuck in a ripped couch cushion.
What are Bubbles' different moods, and how do you know what kind of day he's having?
Bubbles is either ornery or angry or mad or sleeping. So anytime he's awake, he's usually a pretty angry guy. I like to think that he has a sense of humor, but I can definitely tell his moods by reading his body language. The only time that he's really excited is when he knows that we're getting ready to go somewhere. I don't know how he does it, but he knows when we're loading up his vehicles into one of our cars. He knows. I don't know how he knows, but he does. So he knows he's going somewhere and he gets excited. So other than that, he's a completely different dog at home than he is out in public. He, when we have him out in public, you'll see we either have a vest on him, a harness on him, some kind of identification on him, and that actually keeps him calm. When he's at home, he doesn't have anything on but a collar, and he is a normal dog. Gets into everything, always on the go, looking for food right now because it's exactly what he's doing, trying to get Dad to open the refrigerator to give him a piece of summer sausage. Yep. So he loves to sleep. He doesn't function anything before 11 a.m. So yeah, that's he's something else.
Yeah, one of our dogs is like that. Likes to sleep in, always wants food, always begs for food.
But will that dog bite your hand off if you wake him up?
She will growl at you, but not.
Yeah.
She doesn't really bite. Yeah. What's your favorite quiet time routine with Bubbles when it's just Mama and Bubbles?
We nap. We love to nap. That's our favorite thing to do when we have the house to ourselves. We just lay down and we take a nap. I would say that we scroll through TikTok, but he somehow, like I said, he knows. He knows when I'm on my phone and he knows when I'm doing things, and he will take his nose and he will knock that phone right out of my hand like, no, I told you to go to sleep. Tells you who's running the shows around here. It ain't me.
If Bubbles could give you one piece of advice about life, what do you think it would be?
To lighten up a little bit and enjoy it a little bit more. Because anytime that we go out to take him out in public and we're doing events, they're usually large scale. I don't get to enjoy them. I don't get to take in the moment. I don't get to take in anything. I know you and I saw each other down at the Detroit Sports Spectacular.
Yeah.
I didn't get to enjoy any of that because I was more focused on Bubbles. I do see a comment over here of why can't we pet Bubbles? And this is the perfect time to bring that up because I have to make sure that nobody touches him. When we first got him and took him out into public, people seem to always touch his face. Like your natural reaction when you go to pet a dog is a lot of people just go for the face. They want to squishy face him. And he gets so overwhelmed with it and he just doesn't feel safe anymore to the point where he will snarl. He won't bite, but he will snarl and warn them that I don't want you touching me. However, this is only adults. He doesn't do it with kids. So he loves to be pet by kids. He loves to be pet on his back. But a lot of adults tend to go for his face. And that's why I can't relax and let go out in public because I have to make sure that he's comfortable in the situation that I put him in.
Yeah. If Bubbles had vision, how would he describe the setting he's in right now?
Right now, he's very happy because he's over here getting summer sausage from Dad. And he had pizza earlier because we kind of snuck some pizza in the house tonight. So I like that comment. I don't want to be touched either. I know, right? We all need shirts that say "Do not pet." He is his best at home because it's an environment that he's comfortable with. He knows his way around. He knows how to jump up and down the stairs. He knows how to get up and down on the furniture. He knows when I'm walking in and out the door. He knows the routine of my day. He knows I'm going to be right back. So that he does love his environment.
Why beagles? What makes them special to you?
Let's take a quick break to shout out one of our awesome sponsors, the North Oakland Staffing Agency, or the NOXA for short. Whether you're a business looking for top talent or someone ready to take the next step in your career, the NOXA is here to help you grow to your potential. Born out of a true love for people, the North Oakland Staffing Agency serves northern Oakland County, Michigan, and beyond, offering staffing, recruiting, internships, and consulting services. As a client, you'll get personalized attention, real understanding of your needs, and a team that won't stop until they find the right fit. So if you're ready to grow, visit thenoxa.com. That's THENOKSA.com, and take the next step with the staffing agency that puts people first. Now, back to the show.
So when I started the rescue and I made it breed specific to beagles, I thought it would be easy because beagles are pack dogs. They generally mix well with each other and they all get along with each other. And 2 years ago, I did have a good group where they could all be mixed together and blended, and they all got along. I think at that time I had 10, 11, maybe 12 dogs, and I could let them all out all at once. Now I have 4 of them out there that aren't dog friendly. They don't like other dogs. So, and I don't know their stories because they came to me as strays. I don't know if they were attacked by another dog. I don't know what has happened. But generally that's why I chose beagles, because they're pack dogs. But some of them have just proved me really, really wrong.
So, like, you originally chose beagles because they'd all like mix together and be able to like.
They mix together great. They're a great breed. They're small. They're not big dogs. They're energetic. They're hilarious because they're stubborn. They're actually very intelligent. They just choose not to listen to you. It is literally my kennel out there. You're 12, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I pretty much have 22 12-year-olds out there right now.
Jeez. What's something people often misunderstand about rescue work?
I think a lot of people have the misconception that we can save them all. And it's impossible. We can't. A lot of people think that this is easy work, and it's not. I know some people just assume that we just sit here and we play with dogs all day and we make sure that their basic needs are met, and it's not. My morning when I go out there, I'm usually out there anywhere between 7 and 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm lucky if I'm back in the house before noon. So that's 4 hours of my morning out there taking care of dogs. Plus, we have to manage vet appointments. We have to manage health records. We have to manage our state licensing. We have to manage our accounting. We have to manage, obviously, I have Bubble social media, which is a whole other ball game that we take care of. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes. I don't think that people understand that it is a business. It is like running a business. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of dedication. You can't just take in dogs, do the basics, and ship them out the door and call yourself a rescue. And you definitely can't save them all. You have to know your limits. And I know now where my limits are. And that is why I'm saying this, because I did learn that the hard way.
What's the most important thing when matching families with the perfect dog?
Personality. They have to know. I talk to everybody who adopts my dogs. Our application is very thorough. I have to make sure that they know the personality of the dog that they're getting, because every dog has a different personality. I have very timid ones. I have shy ones. I have outgoing ones. I have high energy ones. I have lazy ones. I want to make sure that I have that perfect match so that these dogs are not coming back to me.
Yeah, you want to make sure that they have the perfect home where it's almost like, where they're getting just as well treated as you were treating them.
And that's exactly it. I make sure that they are going somewhere that they are going to be loved for and cared for. And if I have any second guessing in my brain that this is not going to be a good match, I more than likely am not going to let the dog go, because there's something telling me that it's just not going to be right. I'm going to go over here to these comments real quick, Emery. Are the dogs that I have up for adoption? I actually currently have 9 dogs that are ready for adoption and ready for homes. They are fully vetted. They have had their health evaluations and they are ready to go. And then I have some out there that are still under care. What is the biggest reward? The biggest reward is actually when I do take in those dogs that I think that I can't save, and I am able to save them, and then they leave me. As sad as it is to say it, the biggest reward is when they leave me. We did have a dog here. I'm going to use Marge for an example because she was the most recent one. When she came to us, she just came to us as a stray. Everything looked great. She was a little overweight. We found out she had more health problems than anything that I've ever seen. And I almost gave up twice and put her into like a hospice care where we stopped doing vet care because we didn't think that we could save her, but something told me to go ahead and keep pushing through. And I did. And all of her testing came back negative. And she went to her doctors literally the same day that last test came back negative. And she was with me for almost a year.
Are your kennel kids only available for Michigan residents?
No, we actually, so we can offer transport. We do work with a lot of transport groups that work with different nonprofits within reasonable distance. Midwest, over by maybe Pennsylvania, New York, things like that. I've done one long distance transport before. I had a dog that went to Oregon. And that was the longest 3 days of my life as I watched that dog go through transport to make sure that she made it to her new home okay. I don't think I can put myself through that again.
Best tips on adopting a best friends. How do you know when a family is the right match? That's kind of goes along with that last question.
I think that goes into the last one. We're pretty thorough on checking them and making sure that this is what they want. I know, I don't know how I know, but I know what questions to ask, and I can put the feelers out to make sure that, yes, this is going to be a good thing, or no, I think you're jumping the gun a little bit soon. The one piece of advice that I would love to give people, please stop getting puppies because they're cute. Because puppies grow up and they become dogs. And that's when most of them end up in shelters because people got a puppy because it was cute. Please quit doing that because I'm tired. I'm really, really tired.
How can someone become a more responsible pet owner or advocate?
Spay and neuter your dogs. Do you know what that means, Emery?
Yeah, it means like
okay,
they can't have kids.
Yep. Make sure that they can't have puppies. Just try to make it stop. Make it stop. There's so many great dogs that are sitting in shelters right now because they can't even come into rescues. There is a fantastic Beagle sitting up at Tuscola County right now. I can't even take him in because I don't have room, but I know he's a good dog. He's a Beagle Basset mix. They're out there. You don't need to run off and get these puppies because they're cute and cuddly and sweet because, like I said, they grow up.
Be honest. Who really runs this place, you or the dogs?
Oh, the dogs. 200% the dogs. Whether it is in my house or whether it is out in the kennel, I have no control over anything. I just make sure that they can't do the things that they're not allowed to do because they don't have imposable thumbs. So I have to get their food, I have to get their water. But other than that, they tell me exactly how things are going to go, exactly how long they're going to stay outside. No, I'm not ready to go in my kennel yet. And if you lock me up too early, I'm going to pee on your floor. And that is the same thing that goes in this house. Same thing with Bubbles. Bubbles and Nugget get angry at me because sometimes I go outside and apparently I didn't tell them first and I'll come back in and one of them has peed on my floor because I didn't let my bosses know that I was stepping out of my office for 5 minutes. So, I have no control over here. It's ridiculous.
We know that the bullying prevention work started because of comments made about Bubbles. Do you remember what was said and how that moment pushed you into action?
I do. I will never forget that moment. That moment happened at Family Farm and Fleet. It's a store here in Genesee County. Bubbles was recovering from his eye surgery. He was still fresh out of surgery, so it was very obvious he had some, swollen and puffy and things like that. And I was trying to work with him on taking him out in public places where he could learn to navigate with his nose. And an older gentleman, probably about in his 60s, 70s, was walking out of the store as I was walking in. And he took one look at him and looked at me and he said, "I'll be damned if that was my dog. I would take it out back and shot it." That's what started it.
Yeah, that's not okay or nice or.
No, and it's not. And that's why we go into the bullying thing on why you have to be careful what you say to other people. And that's why I'm so quick to defend Bubbles along with other people with disabilities, because people see a disability, but they don't see the abilities behind the disability. They don't get to know Bubbles' story. They just assume he's a blind dog out in public because I didn't want to leave him at home. And that's not the case. They don't know that he just presented to 700 students at a school about inclusion of those with disabilities. They don't know that he does all these great things behind the scenes with rescuing dogs. They just see the disability. And it's the same thing for humans. Even humans with disabilities, we work alongside a lot of them. They're the most amazing people that I have ever met. But they're judged by the cover. And that's what we're trying to stop.
Yeah. When visiting schools, that moment shocked you most, or maybe even made you laugh. What moment shocked you most?
I actually saw this question, and this question was asked by a person who was involved in that. So we, at the end of our shows, our presentations, I allow the kids to ask questions. And this little kindergartner put his hand up. He was the cutest little thing ever. And he asked me what Bubbles' favorite color was. And this older kid in the back of the gym was like, "Duh, black. It's all you can see." Couldn't keep a straight face on that one. I mean, it came from so far out in left field, it was not even funny. I was not prepared for that one. So that was one of the funniest moments. I will never forget that.
That would be funny, like in the moment. Like, what is his favorite color?
Yeah, in the moment, it was one of those things. And you'd be surprised, especially those first graders and those kindergartners, even looking at Bubbles, sometimes they just don't grasp the concept that there's no eyes there. And that's a hard one to explain to a kindergartner.
Yeah.
So hard to explain.
Can you share a story from a school visit that really moved you, where you saw the message click with the kids?
Yes, I can. Obviously I saw these questions, so I was kind of prepared for some of them. We were at a school and we actually presented with the school resource officer. So the police officer was in there and we were talking to, the school was having a big problem with cyberbullying. They were having a problem with people bullying on apps and on their phones and stuff like that. So we talked to the kids about the legal ramifications that can happen if they continue to do this bullying using electronic devices. This little girl, I will never forget, she was sitting in the third row, cutest little thing. You could see this light bulb just click in her head. Afterwards, she came up and talked to me and told me that she's got a girl that used to go to school there but doesn't anymore, that has now transferred districts, that's been bullying her through Snapchat, and she doesn't know how to make it stop. We were able to put her with the school resource officer, who was able to contact the school resource officer at the school that student attends. And I actually did get the follow-up on this, that we were able to get it resolved and it did come to a stop. So, and that was great. Absolutely great.
Yeah, that's definitely a very good thing to stop. How many schools, companies, and events have you visited with Bubbles and your program?
It's probably a good thing that I can't count. That's how many. I mean, there's been so many. We go, obviously October, we do bullying prevention month, and we're usually in 30 plus schools, because sometimes I do 2 a day. March is National Reading Month, same thing. We're guest readers at schools throughout the state of Michigan. Sometimes I do 4 or 5 a day because I cover a whole entire school district and all of their buildings. In the summer, we do our outreach programs, and that's when we go to different events throughout the county, like National Night Out, events with Big Brothers, Big Sisters. And we go out there and put ourselves out into the community so that people get to know who we are. And then also we're very involved in the car show community, just so that people, we have a lot of following from the car show community of people that supported us. And I've actually, we took Bubbles to an event for Back to the Bricks last February. It's called Chrome and Ice. It's an indoor car show that they have in February. And actually somebody that we met there came and adopted one of my dogs. And it's actually one of the best homes that I could ask for. It's absolutely amazing. So it's all about getting out there and making them notice him and ask questions about them so that we can educate them that he's more than just a dog.
What are your dreams with Bubbles and sports when it comes to spreading your message?
What are my dreams with Bubbles and sports when it comes to spreading our message? So, how many questions are in this category?
5.
Go on to the next one, and I bet you anything. There's another question that was asked, and it's all going to tie into this. And I know you're going to ask me it, so ask me the next one.
To date, what's been the biggest positive impact for you and Bubbles from being involved in sports and community events?
I think the biggest impact with the sports and the community events, and I think it's good for people to see that Bubbles is also being involved with something that they idolize. A lot of kids idolize athletes, and a lot of kids love sports. As a matter of fact, I just found out next weekend we're going to a 5th grade football game. We were invited today, so I am going to take Bubbles. So we try to stay in that realm of things. But I think it's good for the local kids to have the access to Bubbles where they may not have the access to the pro athletes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. If you could take Bubbles to any sporting event or venue you haven't yet, what would it be?
Come on. Ford Field. Yep. Ford Field to a Lions game. I would probably have to put headphones on him because I think it might be a little bit loud for him, but I think that he could handle it.
So we're gonna go back to the first question. What are your dreams with Bubbles and sports when it comes to spreading your message?
So when we go into a school and we present to a school, especially when we get up into 4th, 5th, middle school age kids, I ask the crowd if they know what they want to be when they grow up. And everybody throws up their hands, and you have your YouTubers, you have your vloggers, you have your, I had a kid tell me today that he wanted to be a judge, which that was the first time I've heard that. Most of them want to be professional athletes. So we talk to them about how what they're doing now when nobody is watching is going to impact their future as an athlete, and how if you go online and if you research D1 athletes who have lost scholarship offers because of something that they posted on the internet 5 or 6 years ago, it's a digital footprint and it's always there. So that's one of the things that we like to talk to the kids about so that they do know, yes, if you want to be an athlete, you need to be able to hold back. When we get into the high schools, we talk to them about, obviously, some of them still want to be professional athletes. They want to go to college and they want to go on to play pro sports. This is where I can talk to them more about the bullying and how to walk away from stuff, because I'm sure you and your dad like to watch Sports Center or other podcasts or anything along the lines of that. Emery, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you ever have a bad day at school where the day just doesn't go right?
Yeah, I used to go. So the past 2 years I've been homeschooled.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, I went to like a charter school, and I had bad days there sometimes.
So one of the things that I like to hit upon is after an athlete puts on a poor performance, your biggest bullies are some of these broadcasters or some of the fans on other social media platforms. If you go onto TikTok and if you scroll through, I'm going to use Terry and Arnold for an example. He had a really bad game last week, not this past Sunday, the Sunday before. People were on his TikTok just tearing him apart. And that's one of those things that they have to have the mental capacity for. And I don't know how they do it. I would love to know how they do it, because I mean, even in rescue and doing what I do, I get criticized all the time. And I take everything to heart. I hear everything. I read everything. Sometimes I choose to let it go, but it's always back here. Obviously, the Lions game against Green Bay. You saw it. I saw it. Nobody had a good day at work that day. Nobody did. But these guys have to go home and watch all these different podcasts and these different broadcasters and all these things talk about how crappy their performance was. And I mean, I feel bad for them, to be honest. I really do. I understand that's what you sign up for when you become an athlete. You sign up for that. You sign up for the criticism. But some people, I think, take this a little bit too far. And these are the people that were probably the bullies in school. Obviously, there's in sports can bring a lot of unity to people. You and I met because of the Detroit Lions, right?
Yes.
We were down we were down there. It's amazing how 100 and ever many thousand Ford Field can hold, or Michigan Stadium can come together and root for one thing. And of course, you're going to pick on people. You're going to pick on the opposition. I do it all the time. My favorite day on social media is Saturday and Sunday, because we have college football and then we have NFL football. My followers are from all over the country. I have Green Bay fans. I have Chief fans. And they love to come on there and we yap with each other. But some people just take this a little bit too seriously. You have Philly's Karen. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yes.
Philly's Karen. Then you had there was another one this week down at with Patrick Mahomes. Sports, the number one thing that I think that sports should be directed for is kids, because it gives them somebody to idolize and somebody to look up to. I would prefer that my kid looked up to an athlete more than probably anybody else in the world. I really would.
Have you met any cool athletes?
Yeah, I have. So we actually took Bubbles down to the Detroit Sports Spectacular, and we did get to meet. He's got Aiden Hutchinson, Jared Goff. He met everybody down there that day. I could go through the whole entire roster. It was pretty cool. Bubbles got to meet them. I did not get to talk to them. I chose not to talk to them because I'm not one of those overly fanatic people. To me, they're just another human being that just chooses to be an athlete. We were able to get the pictures for Bubbles for his social media. And I did that more for the kids than I did anything else, so that the kids who are coming on as brand new Lions fans, every kid knows who Jared Goff is. Now they get to see Bubbles pictures with Jared Goff, and it gives Bubbles a little bit more of a cooler approach when he's talking to these kids.
Who's been the best so far?
The best athlete that we met?
Yeah.
Actually, I will tell you the funniest one was actually Tate Ratledge, the rookie this year.
Yeah.
He came in with that big old mullet, just, down south boy, and he saw a Beagle there, and the first thing he wanted to know was, does he hunt? That was the first thing that he wanted to know was could he hunt? The one that left me speechless was actually Jared Goff. And the reason why is we had Bubbles' truck pulled into the photo booths that were there available for the pictures. When I went to go back him out, because I drive him with a remote control, my boyfriend, Brent, started yelling at me to stop. And I'm like, what? Okay, stop. And I looked up and Jared Goff was actually taking pictures and videos of Bubbles. And that meant a lot to me, because I work a lot on Bubbles' presence because I want people to be curious about him. I want people to be like, who is this blind dog? I love it when people come up to me and ask me questions. And then I can direct them to our website and our social media and let them see the things that we do, not just for Bubbles, but for all of the dogs that are in our care and for in our community, because we do a lot.
Outside of football and sports in general, what TV shows or media do you relax with?
Ridiculousness. That's probably the big one. And you won't know this one, Emery. Man, I hope you don't know this. And you could just look at your dad and nod. Trailer Park Boys. If your dad knows what Trailer Park Boys is.
Yeah, he said he does.
That's where Bubbles got his name.
If you absolutely had to follow a college football team outside of Michigan, who would it be?
Not Ohio. I can tell you that right now. So the reason that this question was asked is because I have a friend of mine who lives in Florida, and she is a big FSU fan, and she is one of those fanatic ones. She has got her routines. Like, they have a big game against Miami this week, and she does not allow herself on social media all week because it's bad luck. Nobody in her family is allowed to wear black or orange this week because it's bad luck. So she's one of those. But because we talk so much about FSU, if you're ever scrolling through Facebook, you'll notice that when you say something, Facebook puts ads for it in your news feed so that you buy stuff. And all of a sudden, my fanatics and my all of my shopping went from Michigan to FSU. So apparently, if I was going to support another team, it would be FSU because social media told me so. We watch all football teams. We watch football all day Saturday. We watch football all day Sunday. Yes, Bubbles does react to football. There's something in the sounds, and that's why we have like the surround sound system that we have set up for him. There's something in it that makes him react to the game. We haven't quite figured out what it is yet.
What is the funniest kennel escape story you've ever had?
Oh, that would be Binks. So this was when we first opened. We first built the kennel after the fire. We had locked all the dogs up. Dog Dad and I went to dinner or somewhere, I don't know. And my neighbor called me and said, "Hey, you have a dog trying to get out of the fence." And I'm like, "That's impossible. They're all locked up." And they're in 5x5 kennels. He managed to lift his kennel up off the ground, go underneath it. New York just went up by 1. So just letting you know. He went underneath it, escaped through the screen window, and then went out into our dog run. And he opened a hole that was about that big and squeezed right through it and went on out. So craziest thing I've ever seen. He escaped 3 different things to be able to get out.
Was he like a puppy, or was he?
No, he was a big dog. I don't know how he fit through that little gap in the fence. And as a matter of fact, I still have that gap completely blocked off because I still to this day can't figure out how he got out of it. But I don't want it to happen again.
What's the most ridiculous pet name someone has ever given to a dog that they adopted from you?
I think that's going to be my Mabel. Mabel was adopted last year, and they named her Starbucks.
Really?
Yeah, really. Her name is Starbucks. Most of them, when they leave here, I'm very creative when I name them. I don't just give them names when they come in. I get to see their personalities a little bit. Sometimes I'll post on Facebook, like, what do you think I should name this dog? So I give them pretty fun names that fit their personalities. So a lot of them they've kept their names. We actually had Skippy, named after Dan Skipper. So, and he's still Skippy.
Do you ever feel like the dogs are secretly judging you?
Every day as soon as I wake up. Yep. Every day. They are, when there's so many of them, and that's, I'm not going to say a small space, but it's not an overly large space. you know you're being watched. Judging, yeah, I'm sure that they probably are, and I'm sure that Bubbles does. I know he huffs and puffs at me a lot, like, "Psh, I am so done with you." So yeah, it happens.
Which one of your beagles would be most likely to run for mayor and win?
I didn't see this question. Was this on my list?
Yeah.
Which one of my beagles would be most likely to run for mayor and win? I'm gonna have to go with Nugget on this one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Nugget because she's got that kind of crazy craziness to her that she would need to she could run a gang. She really could. And they would be dangerous. And I really feel that in my soul. So I definitely think that it would be Nugget. She scares me.
That's a funny question.
It's a funny question.
Why does Bubbles dislike Rocco, and why did Nugget fall in love with him anyway?
Oh my God, Rocco. I saw this and I was hoping that it was going to come up. So I am going to let Rocco come meet everybody. I just have to make sure that Nugget doesn't see him. And she's watching. This is Rocco. Rocco stays in this bed up on our TV console. And nobody here likes Rocco. Everybody hates Rocco except for Nugget. Nugget is watching me really, really close. Nugget, you want to come see Rocco? Come here. When she does have Rocco, she becomes very possessive of him. She will lick him and give him a bath. She will sleep with him. She will take a nap with him. And you are not allowed to touch him. So the problem, and that is why we all hate Rocco, because Rocco, I already told you that Nugget was crazy, and Rocco turns Nugget to super crazy. So we just keep Rocco up on a shelf. But this is Rocco. She found him in the backyard 3 years ago, and she literally had him in the backyard for a year. When we had our house fire, I was out behind the house and I was walking her. Obviously, we couldn't come in the house because it was burnt. And she found Rocco and wouldn't let him go. So we ended up having to give Rocco a home.
Yeah, our dog, she has a squeaky ball, and she's just like that too. Like, you cannot go up to her and she has it. She'll growl at you. She'll like hide it underneath her. No one likes that ball in our house either.
You should name it Rocco.
If Bubbles could change one thing in his life, what would it be, or what would he want more of?
He would probably want me to leave him alone. Obviously I wear 500 hats around here. I'm taking care of the kennel. I'm taking care of the operation. I'm taking care of the bullying prevention stuff, scheduling with the schools, making sure that everything's ready, things like that. And sometimes I just need a break. And I think that like the ADHD kicks in, and I'm just like, hey, Bubbles, let's go make a TikTok. And he hates that because he's sleeping and he just wants to be left alone. And here I come with a GoPro and a camera and a microphone, and we're going to go do this. And I'm pretty sure if he could eliminate that from his life, it would probably be the best day ever. Best day ever. However, it's not going to go away anytime soon. And that is exactly how he pays his bills. And he has a lot of bills. So he needs to make the social media.
Would Nugget change anything about her life?
Nugget's got it made. So we've actually had Nugget since the day she was born. She is actually I have her mom, out in the kennel. So we've actually had her since the day she was born. Nugget can do no wrong. She is a perfect angel in her daddy's eyes. She is Satan, and she has these little devil horns that holds up this little halo that only daddy can see. So she gets away with murder. She gets away with doing anything that she wants, and we just kind of have to sit back and deal with it because we don't want to make Dad mad.
In just 5 words, how would you describe your work?
Impactful, rewarding, stressful, fun, exhausting.
It's probably a lot of work, I can tell.
It is. It really is. And I'm so glad that you asked that earlier, like what people don't understand about this, because there is a lot to this. I actually just have volunteers for the first time. Jody is one of my volunteers. She's been here for over a year now. I have 2 more that have just came on and started helping us, Sam and Larissa. So I'm starting to get a little bit of a break. But I mean, even there are days that I go out there to check on them and they're just like, oh my God. Yeah. I mean, you have your days. It is, you have your good days and you have your bad days.
How did you talk Dog Dad into this crazy but fun-filled life with rescue, sports, and school visits?
It is a lot easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of did it. And he loves going to the events with Bubbles. You never know what we're going to be seeing. You never know what we're going to be doing. There's so many great things out there and so many awesome people that we've met, contacts that we've made, stuff like that. As far as the rescue goes, I'm pretty sure that it drives him crazy, but he doesn't say much. I'm sure it'll come to light one day, but no, not at all.
Looking ahead, what's your biggest dream for Bubbles, the rescue, and the bullying prevention work? Before you say this is the last question.
Really?
Yeah.
And we're right on cue. I don't have a 6-minute answer. So can you repeat it? Because I just forgot what it was.
Looking ahead, what's your biggest dream for Bubbles, the rescue, and the bullying prevention work?
That we just continue to keep growing and keep spreading our message and keep getting it out there. That's one of the reasons why I decided to go with the sports themes for Bubbles, the Michigan themes, the Lions themes, along the lines of that, because it is bringing a fan base to us. That in the unity of sports, they're coming to us because we're Michigan fans, we're Lions fans. Then they're learning more about us and what we're doing. I've met some great teachers off of TikTok who are Detroit Lions fans who were now going to their school this year. And they found us because the algorithm put us in their place. So now we get to go down and do these fun presentations with a whole school district who is going to be dressed up in Lions gear in honor of Bubbles coming to their school. I couldn't ask for anything better in our 4th year, but we just need to keep going and going and going and getting there. Eventually, I want to get the rescue off of our property and into its own space so that I can take on more dogs and have the manpower to help with that. That's one of the things that I would really like to do. I don't know how realistic that is, but I'm going to keep trying. And just keep spreading our word.
Yeah, that's awesome. Definitely hope that all comes true. Everything that you hope that is going to happen with Bubbles, the rescue, and the bullying prevention. But
I'm listening. So somebody asked for our website in the chat, so I'm putting it in there. So there it is.
So that wraps up our questions. Thanks so much for joining me.
You know what? Thank you for being a good host. This was really fun because I think if I had to sit here and do this with I relate to kids better because it's what we do. We go out into public and we're addressing the kids. So this to me just kind of came natural to me for my first podcast. No offense to your dad. Your dad's a great dude. I think it just would have been a little bit different for me. So this actually made it very easy. So Emery, you are amazing.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna continue to watch you grow too, because you are doing some pretty cool things.
Thanks. Can you share where the listeners can find you?
So on Facebook, we're under Bubbles the Blind Beagle and Friends. Our website is www.bubblestheblindbeagle.org. He does have a YouTube channel for kids, Bubbles the Blind Beagle, TikTok, Bubbles the Blind Beagle, Instagram, X. We're on all of them.
Wait. Okay, so thank you again. We are going to do a quick outro. Just stay in the backstage.
I'll stay backstage.
Bye. Thank you. So that was Stacie along with the incredible Bubbles the Blind Beagle. What a story of rescue resilience and the power of one small dog to make a big difference. If you want to follow their journey, support their mission, or even get involved, check out Bubbles the Blind Beagle and Friends on social media or visit www.bubblestheblindbeagle.org. We'll have links in the show notes so you can connect, learn more, and maybe even meet our own four-legged best friend. Thanks again to Stacie for sharing her time and her story, and of course to Bubbles for being the real star of the show. Until next time, this is Emery from the Sports Kid Podcast, reminding you to be kind, be strong, and to always root for the underdog.